And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. This is another episode of Hansons on Hiatus, episode 47. I am your host, Nate. This is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us virtual beers. So if you enjoy what you're listening to, any help is appreciated. So
much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you for everyone that has donated.
Yes.
But also follow us, like, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all the casts.
All the places, all the things.
All the places. Well, just another note. I am still technically out of town.
Yes.
So we recorded this last Sunday. So right before I left for Las Vegas. So I'm in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. We're rehearsing the halftime show.
Yes.
Putting the stage together and everything like that.
Exciting.
So, yeah,
Usher.
yeah. So some of these are just stories we didn't get to, little things that we just found interesting that maybe didn't have a full episode about or whatnot. So, but right before I went out of town, we went to Cozumel with my parents.
Yep.
And
nice little day in Cozumel Island.
yeah. So we went to this bar, and our friends had sent us a TikTok of about this bar in Cozumel called No Name Bar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from, I can't remember the lady's name. She's like a cruise ship captain that's on TikTok and Instagram and everything. And she does videos of like places she goes and how, what it's like to be a cruise ship captain, I guess. So this bar in the video shows like all of these crew member like name tags from different cruises. Yeah. That like employees that I guess when they have the day on the island can just hang out or whatever. And then they go to this bar. And we've walked by this bar many times.
Many times.
And it's like No Name Sports Bar, and it just looks like a little sports bar. And so we're like, what the fuck is it? Like seeing this video. And we go in this week, past weekend with my parents, and it is huge. There's a pool, a swim up bar. There's
right on the ocean.
Yeah, right on the water to snorkel.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so
Mexico does that a lot to us. You look and you're like, that kind of looks crummy, or like one room or whatever. It's a smaller bar, but some of those you just go into and then it opens up to a whole nother world.
Yeah. So if you are ever going to Cozumel on a cruise or whatever, is a really cool bar.
Yeah.
I would say though, it is a little pricey.
A little bit. I think they're getting the tourists.
Yeah, but it's weird because you would think like the crew members would know like the best not hot spots, but like secret spots that are cheap and good drinks and food and stuff like that.
Maybe they get discounts because they're giving their little name badge.
True.
So they're like, hey, hook me up while I'm here for a couple hours and whatever.
Yeah, true. So yeah, that was a cool spot. Me and my dad went snorkeling. He forgot to take his shirt off, so we were halfway in the water.
What happens? Was it like a sun shirt?
No,
like
it was just a tank top.
Oh, okay.
Like we were like standing on the stairs, like, up to our waist in the water, and he's trying to get his snorkel mask on, and I go, Are you snorkeling with your shirt? And he goes, shit. He left it on, so it was like just wet up to here.
He could have still got it over the snorkel mask. I know it's like we have those full face masks, so they take a minute to get used to, but could have just popped it over.
Oh, yeah. Well, he took the mask off and then took the shirt off, but yeah, it was still half wet.
You guys had fun.
Yeah, it was.
Fun snorkeling.
Yeah, he was like, thank you for getting me out there to do this, because, sometimes he needs a little push to get going to do things.
He doesn't like cold water usually, but
True.
the ocean is warm here.
Yeah.
So
and you get used to it typically if it's like a tad cold.
Yeah, I don't like cold water either, but the ocean's always warm.
Yeah. What else did we do there? Went to the brewery. We our friend Wanda that lives over in Cozumel, she met up with us. And there's this big fountain kind of by the ferry port. Yeah. And she jumped in the fountain. I don't know why she got in the fountain.
She was really hot. She was feeling a little spicy that day. A couple work things back to back, I guess. It was a long week for her. So she was ready to like tie one on, cut loose.
Yeah.
And ended up in the fountain.
Yeah, that was funny. But always a good trip over there to Cozumel. So, and we always say, like, if any of you out there listening are going to Cozumel on a cruise or vacation or whatever, let us know. We always love coming over for the day if we're able to, because we do have to take the ferry over, and if we don't have work or anything like that, we'll come have a beer with you.
But we can always recommend a lot of places too. We have like a really good car rental. We have like a good tour van guy. We have a bunch of the breweries and stuff know us, and so we have a lot of recommendations.
Yeah. But let's see. Well, okay. So as we already said, we're pre-recording this.
Yeah.
So this
You're
is
not here.
Yeah, I'm not here. But we recorded this before the divisional games to see who goes to the Super Bowl. So
Yes.
let that be known. But I thought it would be interesting for us to maybe guess who we think's going to be in the Super Bowl. Since by the time you're listening to this, you'll know who's in the Super Bowl already.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we're gonna guess. Or who do you want to win or be in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and who do you think would be in?
I mean, so just for everyone that might not know, it's the Lions and the 49ers.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens and Kansas City.
Yes.
The Chiefs. Okay. So I don't really care either way. The 49ers or the Lions, I kind of feel bad for the Lions. They're kind of the underdog. So I would say them. And then the other side, Ravens are never getting a pass for me. So by Ravens, and then Kansas City, we love Mahomes and all that stuff. So that's my pick would be the Lions and Kansas City.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Sorry.
I would love or want to have in the Super Bowl. First of all, the 49ers over the Lions, just because my mom. Oh, I went to Iowa State. My mom's a huge Iowa State fan, and Brock Purdy was the quarterback for Iowa State. Yeah. And being what's the award he got for being like the last in the draft, Mr. Unrecognizable or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, big words.
Yeah, somebody will correct me, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but so I kind of like that story. Obviously having a connection to Iowa and everything like that. Nothing against the Lions. I would. Ideally, that either one would be nice. Like I want to see Brock Purdy in it, but also the Lions have never been in the Super Bowl, right? Or never won.
Yeah, they've never.
I don't even know if they won their like first playoff game in like 30 years or something, right?
Yeah, I think they've been to the Super Bowl a couple of times, but I think they're one of the teams that have won before it was called the Super Bowl or something like that. Like they're due. Yeah. They're due for one.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the other side, the Chiefs and the Ravens. I know it's funny that the Chiefs get so much hate now, and I just think it's because they've won 2 Super Bowls in the last couple years, and so whenever somebody starts getting on top, then they start hating them. People love to hate Mahomes' girlfriend or fiance or whatever, which. Whatever. I mean, I guess I don't pay attention enough to care. And then people hate that Taylor Swift is like a part of this whole conversation.
I know. We're bringing women into football. How dare we? Oh my gosh. We're looking at Taylor Swift like, football's boring. So they're adding some jazz to it.
Don't say it's boring.
Sorry.
But I know what you mean. Well, for certain people, she's bringing in a crowd that might not normally watch the NFL. And I'm sure it's strategic for them, for NFL and the media and stuff like that. But she's just attending the game, supporting her boyfriend. Yeah. There's lots of celebrities that go to football games. There's lots of girlfriends that support their boyfriends or husbands in football. Yeah. It's not her fault that everybody or all the news stations are making a big deal about it. She's the biggest artist on the planet right now. Sorry, she is. Like she's huge.
It just adds another element to,
Yeah, I am by no means any kind of Swiftie or anything like that. I don't really listen to her music, but I can respect what she does, and I don't think it's fair for her to get shit just because she's there, and trying to support her boyfriend.
I know. It just seems ridiculous. And I remember, if you remember, a few years ago, the NFL was worried. Numbers are down. People aren't watching as much. They're not coming out to games. We have to do this and that. So why are you bitching about another, positive element to the game? And you're bringing, like you're saying, new fans and whatever. I think it makes it fun. Yeah,
totally. So I would say Chiefs and 49ers. And then I guess the 49ers. I don't know. That's the only. I guess I have a more connection just with the Iowa State thing. I don't really care either way. A lot of people in Iowa are fans of the Chiefs just because they're close to Iowa. When you don't have a NFL team. So I don't care. And really, you don't like the Ravens because the Steeler kind of rivalry a little bit with them. I don't like them because I was just kind of a bandwagon Steeler fan with you and just watching the Steeler games. And when we would go to Jason's house and his stepson, Caleb would talk mad shit about, the Ravens are going to murder the Steelers, blah, 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 and so I was like, all right, well, fuck your Ravens then. So I just have not been a fan ever since then. I know it's silly, but
I know. And it's sad that people hate on the Chiefs. I know everyone hated the Patriots and Tom Brady because they were back to back. but Tom Brady's evil. Mahomes is nice. So,
Yeah.
I mean, give him a break.
Well, then there was that call earlier this season where he like kind of threw a tantrum. So everybody, oh no, he's a baby or whatever. It's, I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff too much, but
yeah.
So I'm sure we'll probably be wrong by the time this comes out. So you can all laugh at us, but
I would think maybe that I'll root for the Lions, but the Chiefs would probably win if it ends up with my two. I forgot to pick who would win.
If it was the Ravens and I don't know, the Lions or the 49ers, who would you? Well, obviously you would pick whoever is playing the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm not
you're like, fuck them.
I can't.
Yeah,
deep down,
sure.
I can't. My parents would kill me.
All right, well, that's our guesses for the Super Bowl.
Our very educated football predictions. Super Bowl predictions.
Yeah, as if y'all cared.
We're like, who's won the Super Bowl last year? I don't know.
Oh man, but just having my parents stay here, it's funny. I don't know. Do you ever talk to your parents about things back in the day or like stories that you either didn't know or they tell you something that maybe you remembered it differently?
Yeah, usually it's I'll ask my mom questions. Like your mom, she's a really good memory. Dad's, well, they remember certain things,
right.
But I usually ask her to clarify. And I've, she's found out a lot about me in my younger years, and I've found out about her too.
Yeah, especially if she's been listening to the podcast.
Yeah, which I think she does.
Yeah. For instance, like one of the stories my mom was, or we were talking about when my brother got attacked by a dog when he was a kid, and I was a kid as well. And I vaguely remember, and this is like POV, like I remember being a kid and like going, oh no, there's like this dog is attacking. So we like all like the cousins like ran, and then I remember my other cousin Matthew like running over to the door and just like kicking the door, being like, like saying my brother's getting attacked by this dog, and I jumped over the balcony to get on the porch to see if I could get in the door that way.
And you guys were like little.
Yeah, we were like little. And then my mom was like, oh yeah, he did that. But then he got into the house, and she's like, I remember him coming into the living room or whatever, being like, Alex is getting attacked by a dog or whatever. So it was like just those little differences where I didn't remember him running in there and doing that.
Yeah.
I just remember what I saw. So it's funny to hear it from like an adult perspective, and it just shows you why in like the court of law, maybe you shouldn't have eyewitnesses because they're not always right. They remember things completely differently, depend on like the panic and the stress and what's going on in the situation.
And especially your age too.
Yeah.
You're going to remember something different as like a 5-10-year-old than your mother's like an adult at that time, taking it in differently.
Yeah. But this one story that I thought it's very quick, but I just found it really funny. My mom was telling me one time when we all went to Colorado for like a ski vacation, when we always used to drive out to Colorado and go skiing when we were kids with the family. Right. And my brother, who's 3 years younger than me, this was back in the day, so we had like disposable cameras. So they gave both of us disposable cameras, and I'm taking pictures of and my mom is telling us the story, and I'm taking pictures of skiing in the mountains and everything like that. And you didn't know what was on it until you get back and you develop it, and
of course,
it used to be like 2 weeks, and then I remember it was like 3 days or 48 hours or whatever.
Extra.
Yeah, to get it express.
Yeah.
And they get my little brother's camera back, and it's just people's dogs, like all over Denver. He was just taking pictures of different people's dogs.
Alex, that's so cute.
And I think it was not too long after this dog attack because he wanted a dog, and he wanted a German Shepherd, which was the kind of dog that attacked him. Which is interesting. That there must be some psychological thing there to, as a child, have that terrible or terrifying moment, because he got stitched. Like the dog bit him, my dad like lifted him up, and the dog like jumped on my dad's back, and they both got a bunch of stitches and everything.
Yeah, it sounds like both of them got pretty
hurt. But to not only just want a dog after that terrifying situation, but to want the same breed that attacked you, there must be some psychological thing there.
Usually when that happens to little kids, they're like, no, I don't like dogs. Like they have a dog problem.
Yeah, or scared of dogs. A lot of people that are afraid of dogs, it's because they got attacked when they were younger.
Yeah, I didn't know that happened so much when we were younger, but most of our friends have like a dog attack story.
Yeah,
so I don't know what people were doing back in the day with their big dogs, but lock them up.
Yeah. Oh, and the other night we were eating dinner with my parents. So I'd made dinner, and we were just watching TV, I think, at the time. And we were sitting at the dinner table, and we were talking. Oh, my mom was like, oh, I'm so full. I feel like a fat pig. And my dad goes, or she's like, I should go on a walk. And my dad goes, we all know you're not going to do that. And you and I looked at each other like, what did you just say? We're like, I had that panic, like, that is not what you say to your wife at the time.
It's like those new reels that are like show the husband like mouthing back to the wife, and then the next clip's like rest in peace, Nate, and they're just like, oh,
yeah, it's their headstone.
Yeah, it's like that's it.
But he took too long of a pause, because after that he said, because the Iowa State game's going to be on, because the basketball game was coming on in like 20 minutes or
My
whatever.
mom's a big like everything Iowa State. We watch, we pay attention, big fan. So we were like, that was the longest pause ever.
Yeah. We all know you're not going to do that. I was like, oh, no.
Because the Iowa State game's on. And we were like, oh my God,
Yeah.
do you have a death wish? It's funny. It's really funny seeing your parents like relax and try and retire. And because your family's very active. Like you are go, go, go. You guys have this natural energy, lots of FOMO. You want to be a part of the fun. But just to them, we're trying to teach them, slow down, enjoy everything, enjoy, the noises of Mexico, enjoy the sights that you see here. There's so much weird stuff. And they're always like, oh my God, there's people with blue hair and there's all these dogs and this and that. It's like, yeah, that's Mexico. And my answer to everything is, that's Mexico. That's Mexico.
Like we were at the dinner the other night, and my dad was getting irritated because the bar across the street was playing music.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's loud here. We're in a touristy area.
Yeah.
Like there's noises.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's very loud. I think people don't realize how loud Mexico is, because when you come for a few days or a week or even 2 weeks, you're like, yeah, party mode. Let's pump up the music, whatever. Here it's like all the time. You never know when it's going to happen.
But
some Mondays it might be a party night, and some nights it might be quiet.
Yeah, especially when you try to get in that routine or regular lifestyle. And that's one of the hard things we realized moving down here is, especially where like the area we're in is like, it's a party every night.
Yeah.
So you have to have like self-control and discipline to just get your regular schedule. And they had a hard time realizing we don't go out to eat during the week or every night or go have a beer here and there. During the week, we're eating healthy. We're going to the gym. We're, try to keep a normal schedule. We're not going out.
Budget.
Yeah.
We went out every night. We have no money.
So yeah, I think they're figuring out how to relax and settle down here.
Yeah, but then they're the opposite. They're retired. So I'm like, you can go out every night if you want. Live it up. You've worked your whole life. This is your time to do whatever you want. Everything's walking distance. That's fine. That's don't wait on us.
Yeah.
We're a little bit younger and different.
Yeah. But a few weeks ago, we went to this craft beer bar in Playa Car called Barra Artesanal, which is this kind of, it's a little stand, kind of like it's an outdoor kind of airy.
Yeah.
Like they have a nice patio and everything.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
It looks like it used to be one of those kind of like drink little mobile cart things, and then they've been building on it. Now it's actually
live
just
music, good music. And so I met these other craft beer guys there, and the guy that owns it, and then all the other guys, and they started kind of educating me on Mexican craft beer and how like there's kind of only one place in Mexico where they grow hops, and it's in like the wine country of Mexico, which is south of California. So hanging out with these guys, having a couple beers, just shooting the shit. And so we all decide to go to another bar, and when we leave to go, it's a parking garage that's underground, and there's a security guard that it was valet, but then it was late enough where they just had the security guard watching the garage.
When we first got there, it was valet, and then later on, they're pretty much like, "Hey, here's your keys. We're done. We're taking off."
So we go and we're walking down the little ramp to go get our car, and we see this guy sitting in his chair, head back, just snoozing, and it was the security guard.
Oh my gosh, we were concerned. Is he sleeping? What is he doing? His little chair's tipped back, and he was doing like a dad nap,
But his phone was still in his hand, and he was just completely out. So I'm taking a selfie with him, and the other guys are taking pictures, but I was like, bro, I mean, Sleeping Beauty over here, you're not doing anything for the stereotype. You need to wake up a little bit.
I know. And even the other guys were like, "Hey, amigo," like clapping, yelling, nothing. He didn't even like flinch, like, "Oh, sorry," nothing.
No, just
I think he's still sleeping.
Yeah, to this day.
To this day, still sleeping. He did look tired. We were like, "Don't wake him up."
Yeah. Oh, poor guy. And what else do I got on here? Let's see. A couple of things here. Oh, so where we used to live in Georgia in Sandy Springs, we had this package service at the apartment that we lived in, and they had these like locker boxes, and you would get an email notification when you had a package.
Yeah, very nice. Very like the Amazon lockers, kind of.
Yeah.
Very efficient.
So we moved away September 2021.
Yes.
And maybe 2 weeks ago, we get an email that we have a package.
Yeah.
And we're like, what?
That's
Like they
not
must have
right.
had the wrong name on it or something. So my buddy Brent, who used to be on the radio with us, Shaky Hands Brent, still lives there
Yes.
and lives in the same exact apartment that we live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually, side note, was really cool. When Tiger passed, he lit a candle for him and put it where like Tiger and Pharaoh used to hang out in that exact apartment.
Their little
So
bed,
that was really nice of him.
puppy bed spot. It was the cutest thing.
But we, so we're like, what the fuck is this package? So I'm having him go get it from the locker, and I give him the code and everything, and then he sends me a picture, fucking National Geographic magazine. So what was this?
It was something I sold on eBay. I found a bunch of these old National Geographics were like at the lodge in Sandy Springs, a whole box of them, and they were all in pretty good condition. And I'm like, we were selling all of our stuff on, every kind of selling platform before we moved to downsize. And I was like, these might be worth something. So I took them back, and none of them were like, really worth it. But all of them, if you added it up and sold them all, it'd be a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
Like people are still buying these and like making the collections of all of them. So I threw them on there. Somebody bought it. Georgia USPS never made it to the person, never made it anywhere. And then it just popped back up.
Yeah, 2.5 years later.
2.5 years later.
Which makes you wonder, like, where was it for that long?
I think it was in the main hub. And
I know, but I'm just thinking, like, physically, like, so is there a box that they just throw things in and it just sits there for 2 years? Because it had the address on it because they got it back to us.
It did.
So
it
why?
had the ship from, the ship to, and I used to work in logistics. I know how to fill out a label. It's an online label. It was paid for. I had a scale, it was the correct weight. It wasn't like if something was wrong, they would have just sent it back to me and be like, not enough postage or something's an issue, but they shipped it out. And I remember going back to our Sandy Springs USPS and being like, all of my packages are the same. They all have, I bought like teal kind of envelopes or bags or whatever. So if something was missing, I knew exactly what it would look like.
Right.
Wouldn't even look for it, and they were like, we don't have it. It's gone. You never brought it, even though I have a receipt, all these things. There it is. You had it.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I should file a claim now and be like, got it.
I wonder if it was one of those, remember during, like the holidays, certain drivers were just like dumping packages in the woods and stuff.
Could
I
have
wonder
been
if
that
something
too.
like that. Because, yeah, like I was saying, it has the return address and the shipping address.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, why did they send it back to us? Why wouldn't they just continue to send it to the person that it was supposed to go to?
Right? Probably because it's been 2.5 years. We're
True.
like, well, we don't know if they want this
Yeah,
anymore.
they might have died by now.
Yeah, and I had to, refund those people. I don't even remember. It was probably like $10 or whatever
Yeah.
they paid for it.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's fun.
yeah.
So if they tell you your packages are lost in Atlanta or if they're not there, they're there.
Yeah. Another story that happened a while back. You got a call from the bank about your credit card possibly being hacked, or there was a weird charge on it from a thing called Mobley.
Yeah, it was our actually like our Schwab investors account.
Oh, yeah.
Which my card is always locked up. If we get money out, we use your card because
Yeah.
usually you're the one that goes to the ATM and does whatever. So I'm like, I got a text message with a notification. I'm like, I don't even use this card for anything. It's just, my account. So I called, it was them. They're like, yeah, so there's a charge from Mowgli, don't know what that is. And he's like, let me see where it is. And he comes back, goes, yeah, are you in Saudi Arabia right now? I'm like, definitely not in Saudi Arabia. I was like, I will tell you I'm in Mexico, but I live in the U.S., whatever. So he was like, yeah, we're going to dispute this right now. This is a fraud. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you.
Well, and what did they say the reason why they look for cards that are almost expired or something?
Yeah, they said which mine would expire in like February, like mid-February. I guess scammers can run any kind of cards that haven't been used or about to expire, which makes sense because I don't think I've ever used that card. And it is about to expire.
But that kind of makes sense to me, but how would they have got your number? Like there's not like I guess if something's leaked, but there's not like a database of your like credit cards, like, oh, well, this one's about to expire. Like, what would that matter? If you got their credit card, you got their credit card.
Exactly.
But I don't know how they got it because you've never used it like online for anything to buy anything. So.
And I should have asked the guy more like, how does that happen? But I was just like, I'm glad you know and you believe me that I'm not in Saudi Arabia right now, and please just give me. It was like $30, but
yeah,
still.
it was $30.66 from Mobley.
And he said they're going to do that smaller charge to see if anything
It's like a
happens.
test.
Wait a few days and then really, but joke's on them. There's no money in there.
Joke's on you guys.
Poquito de
Yeah,
Niro.
I was not in Saudi Arabia buying a SIM card.
No,
No,
no.
that didn't happen. Let's see what else. Oh, eating food from people's Airbnb. So, that is another story I had written down here. So you'll clean different people's Airbnbs and apartments and stuff for them, and manage them and everything, and handle the bookings. So sometimes when you clean them, people just fucking dip out and they leave a fridge full of groceries.
Tons of groceries. And I get it. You come to Mexico, you're like, oh, everything's so cheap. Everything's so fresh. It's right there. Let's stock up. But they don't think of, you're not going to be in your apartment like cooking gourmet dinners.
Nobody does that. Unless you're coming for like weeks and weeks, don't buy a bunch of get some snacks or something.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be sitting at home like making, whatever, like for dinner typically.
Yeah.
You want to
Usually,
go
like,
out.
you'd have some, like, maybe some little things for, like, breakfast, maybe even, like, a pool snack or lunch, but definitely not, like, dinner and things like that. So people leave lots of things, unopened things, brand new fruits and vegetables that haven't even been used. We've gotten pretty lucky.
Yeah, so I am fine with it, especially if it's been unopened. I think you were giving me shit because I ate their spaghetti that they had made.
Yes.
But they didn't like lick all the spaghetti and put it back there, so it's just noodles that have been boiled already.
My thing is, so that's fine. If you want to do that, I would rather stick with unopened things because people are gross. You don't know. You're making spaghetti, you sneeze, you might not think twice about it because, it's just me and Nate eating, or you and me, whatever. We don't know these people. What if they were sick and that's why they were home making spaghetti and then we're eating their sick spaghetti?
I don't know. Well, it's no different than people that work at a restaurant. They could sneeze or whatever.
True, but this I'm like, really, really risking it. Really rolling the dice.
Well, I just cooked 3 of their steaks they left behind the other day. So
that was fine too.
Yeah.
Those are frozen, whatever.
Yeah, they were good.
But that was nice. Yeah. Who buys pork chops and steaks and thing like frozen?
And then leaves them.
Yeah, very weird.
I mean, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Fed me for a day and a half.
Very odd. Very strange.
All right. And the last thing before we get out of here, we'd kind of talked about the whole wedding conundrum I had with our friend Mindy from Atlanta, and she lives in Denver now. Mm-hmm. And getting married here actually tomorrow, technically. So
Mexico.
Congratulations, Mindy and Tyler.
Yes.
So this was I was trying to decide, if she would be okay with me missing the wedding because I'd be at the Super Bowl. I didn't realize it was going to be the weekend before the Super Bowl, and I'm there for the 2 weeks, and I'm contracted out through the NFL, so I can't miss like any practices. I tried to find a way to make it back, but there just wasn't any flights that kind of worked for the situation.
Yeah, unless we were paying tons of money.
Yeah, but even with the time, like even if I was buying an expensive flight, it just wouldn't work because the distance traveling, it's like it's like flying from Florida to LA or Arizona or whatever, or Las Vegas, I guess, all the way across the country. So it was just too much time because there's a 3-hour time difference and all that. So it just wasn't going to work out. So you were going still because you will be here, and my parents are here. So you're taking my mom as your plus one.
Your mom's gonna be my plus one. Your dad's like, go have fun. That's fine, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
We're gonna go a little early, hit up the pool, and then get ready for the wedding.
Yeah. So my confusion or not understanding about how these destination weddings work is, so this happened to us before when I hurt my hands. And we were going to that wedding up in Puerto Morelos, and it's at they do them at all-inclusive resorts. So people that are coming that can make it, and then usually it's not a ton of people.
Yeah, smaller weddings.
Usually have to book like a couple nights in which you want to. You're down there to go to the wedding, but it's also kind of a vacation built in.
Yeah.
So it's an all-inclusive. Usually you have to have like 3 to 4 nights, booked to stay on property and everything like that.
Yeah, they don't just do like one nights at all-inclusive usually.
Yeah. So. For these 2 different weddings that we've been invited to, we're like, well, we don't want to stay there because we live,
we live here,
20, 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
So we would just like to come to the wedding.
Yeah.
Well, then you have to buy a day pass to the hotel.
Right.
And the day pass is like $150.
Right. Each.
Yeah. So I guess I just don't understand how this works or who's paying what. Because she was worried about me not coming because she's like, oh, I got to make sure I have enough people to meet my minimum spend or my minimum number of like guests or whatever. And so that's why my mom came. Yeah. Or they have to pay, a certain amount of money. But I guess I don't understand like who's paying what, because it sounds like she has to pay for whatever. I don't know if she pays for the wedding ceremony or is there a separate menu or meal or something. But all the people that are staying there, they like food and drink is included. So unlimited food and beverages for the entire time they're there. So I guess I kind of get us having to buy a day pass, but also if she's paying for us to be there,
right, that's the issue.
And then we are paying $300 to be there, why are we paying both times? Like, she should either not have to pay for us and we're just paying to get in, or we shouldn't have to pay if she's paying for the ceremony.
Right. I think they're like, it seems like they're double charging.
Yeah.
Because like
$150 just to come to, what if it was like their grandmother that lived, up the beach in Mexico? She has to pay $150 to attend your wedding.
Yeah. It seems weird. Like I can see if we do come there all day and use the amenities, the pool, drink and eat and whatever. But if we are legit just coming for the wedding, why are we paying? Like Mindy and Tyler are already paying for our spot at the wedding, unless we just don't understand. But like our wedding, we paid same thing. We had to pay for 100 people, regardless if 2 people showed up. That was the lowest package. And we ended up having 98. So we had extra, but we weren't like charging additional per person. Like, oh, you're coming, you have to pay, and we're paying for you to come. Like, what?
It doesn't make sense. To me, they shouldn't have to pay for anything except for maybe the rental of the wedding venue, like wherever the rehearsal dinner and the what's a reception and stuff like that. But these people have already paid thousands of dollars to be there, so like the hotel should be giving all that shit for free. Like, hey, you're bringing 20, 30 people that are all paying a couple thousand, so you're making tens of thousands of dollars off of my wedding party. All this other shit should be included. So in that case, if that was the situation, I could understand us paying like a little something, like maybe $50 for a couple hours if we had to go to the pool and stuff a little bit before.
Yeah.
But $150 I guess we can go to the thing all day, but still that's like $300 for unlimited food and drink. That's not the greatest deal.
I know. It just
and then you
odd.
gotta buy a wedding gift and all the other things that are included. So if she's paying, I don't feel like we should have to pay for the day pass. If she's not paying, I think we maybe would just pay a little bit less, because we are getting the food and drink even at the wedding that the guests have already paid for by staying at the hotel.
Right. Yeah. You would think, or like give a discount, like the wedding pass should be different than a day pass, because I guess I can come there all day, but what if I don't want to come there all day?
Yeah, it should be like 2 hours before the wedding. Like if I was going, I wouldn't want to go all day, because I'd probably get shit faced and miss the wedding or something, hurt my hands.
Yeah. Hurt your hands and then not make it.
Yeah. So, and that's what I felt bad with our other friend's wedding that we ended up missing. We didn't buy the day pass because we snuck into the hotel, and then we were going to have to buy the day pass for the wedding, to go to the ceremony. But we didn't do that.
We just answered our own question. That's why they charge people to come on property, because we did sneak it onto that other one.
Yeah, that was different.
Because they don't charge and they don't have like wristbands, so they couldn't tell.
Well, that one, yeah. That's why. But since we missed it, like, did they still have to pay something for us?
I'm sure.
Which I feel bad about that. But they shouldn't have to, because we weren't staying there and we didn't eat or drink anything.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
And at those weddings, they're probably not doing plated meals. It's probably a buffet, because that's what they do with the all-inclusive.
It's got to be a buffet. Yeah, they're not plating. They might give you, everyone a salad and then go to the buffet like ours, but I doubt it.
Well, anyone that's done, I'm going to put it on the Q&A on Spotify. So if anybody has done a destination wedding or been to one that knows how this works, let me know, because I'm just curious how that all works, because it's kind of bullshit, I think.
And we've had other friends, and we thought, when we first started hearing about this, we're like, oh, we should have done that. We should have got married in Mexico. But the more friends that I kind of, you'll be fine, Mindy. It'll work out. But there's always problems.
Yeah, well, because they're not there. And
yeah, exactly. There were problems with our wedding, but we were right down the street.
Yeah,
it took me 5 minutes to get there. Here, it's like You got to bring stuff. You got to make sure customs doesn't take it. You got to make sure you have enough. If your luggage gets, all these different
And you
things.
can't do anything yourself. Like you made all of the centerpieces,
Yep.
but you can't really do that if it's a destination. Or I mean, you could, but then you have to bring it all down to another fucking country.
A lot of them, like my friend Sarah in Georgia, you can't do stuff like that. Everything has to be through the wedding event planner there. Like she was allowed to do certain things on her own, but anything major you had to do it through them. They wouldn't even let you.
We did our engagement pictures at Sweetwater at the brewery. Some in like the production facility, but then also in the woodlands, like with all the wood and the barrels and stuff.
Those are nice.
They were, and I wish we would have just got married there.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been so much easier. They
It
probably would,
and great.
and that's the situation. Like they probably give you a discount on food, and I mean a discount, but it's probably cheaper for at least drinks and probably food because they have a kitchen now.
Yeah.
Because they're making the alcohol in house.
Yeah.
If you go through someone else, they have to like buy it from a distributor or the store or whatever and reserve it. Like they're making their own, so you think it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you know how the wedding stuff is. Like you put wedding in front of anything and it doubles the price. Flowers, they're $10. Oh, wedding flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, $25. You know,
Cups, whatever.
Yeah.
Wedding cups, this, that. Oh.
Yeah, that's a good industry to get into.
It really is.
Because it's like an accepted excuse. It's a wedding.
Yeah,
You know, it's
a
like,
wedding.
oh, these people are starting their lives and paying thousands of dollars for this party. Let's milk them.
Yeah, let's screw them.
Yeah, like fuck that.
Let's screw them and screw with them.
Yeah,
okay?
right,
Because
right.
they know usually you're young and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations, Mindy
Yes.
and Tyler. Very happy for you guys.
Everything's going to be wonderful. It's going to be beautiful. All these little things that you're worrying about are not going to matter once you guys are up there. It's going to be fabulous. It's wonderful weather. We wish you the best.
Definitely,
Congrats.
definitely. All right. Well, again, this was pre-recorded, so next week we will have one more that we recorded before I left, and then the following week, or the following Friday, I will be giving all the stories about the halftime show and what I did, and different things from Vegas.
You get to hear before and after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
But again, don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some beers there. And follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts at Hansons on Hiatus. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.